Uh, Good morning, this is Kin Bueno from the Diocese of Parañaque. The topic I am presenting to you is about fallible quote-unquote systems. So basically, fallibility can be understood that the Holy Spirit's desire can be understood in the reason of His understanding rather than ours. However, fallibility explains that the Holy Spirit's understanding judges according to pure truth. Otherwise, any complication of any theory we may be expressive with is quotiently fallible according to the Holy Spirit's understanding, quote unquote. Any claims of our pre-quotient notion can be true, otherwise it is infallibly fallible, quote unquote, by understanding it correctly for that matter. However, the Holy Spirit's understanding of our judgment cannot be erroneous at all times. However, the Holy Spirit desires according to fallibility, based on the fact that He is the source of infallibility in the first place. Any deviation according to holiness can be quotiently done according to the universal salvation. So it means that our claims of universal salvation doctrine has been or will never be in error for that matter. For every presupposition we have according to universal salvation explicitly expresses that our claims are universal based on universal salvation itself. But the understanding remains questionable, but it is not unholy for that matter. So basically, these things we have in mind is fallible, but I may not commit it infallible for that matter. But there is the same logic we have, but the disparity is not simply 1:1, quote unquote, based on mathematical theory I have. However, not all things that I know is universal. Rather, everything is universal for the Holy Spirit. No one can locally claim some universality lest the Holy Spirit desires it infallible for that matter, quote unquote. It's absolutely true based on my understanding. However, the notion we have for the fallibility of something must be according to the Supreme Pontiff. Otherwise, any fallible notion we have according to a noble laureate is a proof according to the stream of truth. However, the fallibility of the context does remain questionable. Universal salvation allows us to understand the reality of universal salvation. Otherwise, universal salvation has not been proven in reality if it is not have been. So basically, as we move forward based on doctrinal wisdom, we can expect that universal salvation is based on the fallibility, that it is quote unquote in error if we define it fallible for that matter based on my understanding, which is not Supreme Pontiff yet, based on logic. However, our relational understanding of something explains the universality of God by reason of true knowledge. However, quote unquote, the knowledge we have based on our definable understanding does not repair itself according to Trinitarian plan. However, we can understand that the instantaneous pre-existence is explainably universal for that matter. Pre-existence is universal if I declare it freely based on infallibility of pure truth. Otherwise, if we declare it based on our intention, it can be infallible, but most likely it is fallible. However, I cannot prove the notion otherwise. Basically, this stream of consciousness or the stream of conscience we have explains the fallibility success of something, quote unquote. However, the more charity we have, the more we can understand the responsibility to understand the fact that it exists. So how can we stop future errors if we do not access ourselves in the future for that matter? However, the same remains quotient. The future remains instantaneously interesting based on the reasonable appearance of its omnipotent expression. Thanks so much.